Caretaker Matt here. I wanted to talk about a movie called Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is probably the very definition of cult classic. Low budget, did not do well in the theater, got on the VHS and became a cult classic. It's a very simple story about revenge. Lance Hendrickson plays the father of a young boy who is accidentally killed by a group of teenagers that come into town, and in his grief he resurrects this demon that begins to kill them one by one. Lance Hendrickson actually said he wasn't sure about doing the movie. He was reading the script, and as he was reading the script, he got to the scene where he is driving in his truck with his dead son, and his dead son sits up and says, "What have you done, Daddy? What have you done?" And he said that made the hair on the back of his neck stand up, and it actually that's what convinced him to do the film, is the power of that one scene. And Lance Hendrickson does a phenomenal job in this movie. The teenagers, not so much, but when you have very little budget, you spend all of it on that guy right there. Pumpkinhead is quite possibly the crowning achievement in practical effects as far as a creature goes that I've ever seen. I put it on par with anything that I saw in The Thing and any other movie that's commonly known as a master of practical effects. This thing's movement, its facial expressions are absolutely stunning. And there's actually a funny thing about the facial features is as this movie progresses, the face of Pumpkinhead goes from that to looking more and more human as it gets to the end of the movie. And they said there's two reasons for that. One is Ed Harley, Lance Hendrickson's character, is the one that summoned him and resurrected him, so it begins to take on his features. And the second part is they actually used Lance Hendrickson's features when they were designing the basis for the way the face was going to look toward the end of the movie. So, but like I said, that creature is absolutely breathtaking to watch. The fluid movements, the facial expressions, everything. It is absolutely stunning. There's one last piece on this movie that's more of just kind of a deep dive into horror, and that's the cabin that these kids are staying in made an appearance in another beloved to me horror film, and that is Friday the 13th Part 4. It is in both the movies, just a fun little trivia thing. It's also made an appearance in Parks and Rec. I think it was Ron Swanson's cabin, but it makes appearances in many shows. But you've got this movie and Friday the 13th Part 4, same exact cabin, both done in the 80s. This movie is definitely worth a watch. Most people have seen it by now just because of this guy right here. But if you haven't, it is definitely worth the hour and a half that this movie runs. And if you're a sucker for practical effects, you're not going to find better. They put all of their effort into it, and it absolutely shows. This is a crowning achievement of practical effects, and definitely worth a watch. So this is Caretaker Matt, over and out.